uh, boys and girls, IAS Aspirant UPSC 2023, मुझे एक शेर याद आ रहा है, दैट इज कपलेट्स कि टूटने लगे हौसले तो बस ये याद रखना, टूटने लगे हौसले तो बस ये याद रखना कि बिना मेहनत के तख्त वो ताज नहीं मिलते, और ढूंढ लेते हैं अंधेरों में भी मंजिल अपनी, और ढूंढ लेते हैं अंधेरों में भी मंजिल अपनी, क्योंकि जुगनू किसी रोशनी के मोहताज नहीं होते, मोहताज नहीं होते. दैट इज द फिलॉसफी ऑफ लॉर्ड बुद्धा, दैट इज सेल्फ इनलाइटमेंट. You make your path by own means, not by the support or not by the assistance with the others. You try to be self-enlightened. That is the prime objective and prime theory of Lord Buddha. So you will get succeed, there is no doubts, but the suggestion is that you will have to choose the right path, how to write the answer in this examination. Whatever your preparation has been done, it does not make much difference, but the differentiation will be taken place on the basis of the word limit as well as quality of your answer. Thank you. So after 6 questions yesterday we have discussed UPSC Mains GS-2 2022, and the 6 questions I think we have already discussed. Yes, Gati Shakti. The next question will be question number 7. The question says the right of person with disabilities Act 2016 remains only a legal document without intense sensitization of government functionaries and citizens regarding disability. कह रहा है कि जो right of persons with disability, जो पहले जिसको we are telling that as a विकलांग, physical handicap, the name has changed as a differentiable, people with differentiate skill. So the name has been slightly changed. So this act come in 2016, but the implementation stage is not so good. Why? This is the question. Why the implementation of Disability Act and citizens, neither government official is taking pain to implement in its right spirit, nor people, normal people, citizen of India is bothering about that implementation part of that act. Why it is going on? This is the question. The question is very simple, but you will have to sensitize yourself in writing the answer on the basis of that why it is required, because the question is how many? 150. Oh, sorry, I thought 250. There is another restrictions, you will have to confine yourself in word limit. So just one line you will have to write, so that your sensitivity to be reflected in that answer ab initio of the answer writing. How it will be reflected? So just you put the emotional angle in a starting. These people's, differently abled people, is as heritage, as important, as good as we are. They are people with a differently abled qualifications, differently abled symptoms, but they are not the burden of the society. Just two lines to be reflected in this manner, so that your sensitivity to be shown, to be seen in the answer writing. Clear hai? Just this is the emotional angle to impress the examiner, nothing more than that. Everyone will be right in the right direction of the answer, but if you are adding something else, then you will be differentiated amongst all the men's aspirants. So just you put this. Another, you can put the second line, not first or two, either this or that. So second line can be written in this way: this is a good efforts by the government because this demand was pending since long back, and after independence, 75 years of independence, we could not get the proper law, proper facility, proper infra, proper any amenities to the differentially abled people, and this is the good sign that we have come up with this provision of law. तो ऐसा लिखने से you will be remarked by the examiner that you are sensitized, you have sensitivity amongst about the problem pertaining to the disabled people. Clear है? So that is emotional angle, 2 line to be written. Now after that, you will have to come on the main point. See why it has been remains only a legal document, because the first and foremost point to be written after the putting the heading, that first point is attitudinal problem. Attitudinal problem. People does not accept that he or she is differently able and they should be included in the society's parameters. People's attitudes are very different, except the mother, father, even brother, sister does not bother, does not see him or her in the sympathetic manner. If anybody's family member got this differently able, you can imagine the situations of that family. Except parents, even brother, sister does not bother, and everybody treating him or her as a indignified manner. So that is the attitudinal problem first. That's why it has not been implemented in the right spirit as per the law passed by the parliament in 2016. The first point is attitudinal problems. Second, social exclusion. देखिए, point should be good and it should be attractive, because examiner will first read the points, terms, what terms you have used. After that, the elaboration will be read out by examiner. So second point will be social exclusion. Why? This is also linked with the attitudinal problem. Nobody is ready to call him, to offer him or her on any social occasion. Not social participation is allowed in practicality by that family or by the social neighbor or whatever. So that is the second point, is social exclusion by the society about that differently disabled people. And third is discrimination. Right from childhood, that child gets discriminated between good or bad, positive and negative. That is just attitudinal problem. That's why I have put this word attitudinal in the first go. So he or she is feeling this discriminations on the basis of so many things, and the people, neither people of the society nor the government official of the society takes extra pain for the upliftment of the differently able people. So next point is discrimination. After that, you put a term that is stigma in society. Stigma और you can say labeling theory. अगर आपने एंथ्रो में पढ़ा होगा, labeling theory. Just everybody put the label that he is mentally ill, he is physically ill, है ना? So that remark is being pasted on his or her mind that you are not at par of mine, although you might be possible that you would have been more genius, but there is no platform to show your intelligence or geniusness in the society. एक लड़की ईरा अग्रवाल करके सेलेक्ट हुई थी आईएएस में, ध्यान हो, फर्स्ट रैंकर थी। तो ऐसा अचीवमेंट और ऐसा माहौल घर में मिले तब ना। यहाँ तो भाई बहनी दे ट्रीटिंग इन द डिफरेंट मैनर, है कि नहीं? आपके घर में इफ एनी गेस्ट कम्स इन योर होम, यू ऑल्सो ट्राई दैट बच्चा शुड नॉट कम बिफोर द गेस्ट, बिकॉज ही विल मेक सम न्यूसेंस ना। कभी आपको पकड़ लेगा, कभी आपको हंसेगा। तो पीपल फीलिंग दैट द स्टिग्मा, पीपल should not treat him that their child is so this and that. But the question is that ki how far he or she is responsible for that disability. तो ये अलग चीज है। And after stigma, there is reflections in society that even enactment of this act, the facilities should be given to that differently able people is not up to the mark. That is the situations in India. Not up to the mark, that is the higher level, but even the basic amenities has not been provided after so many agitations by the social volunteers, social reformers, that is the Kailash Satyarthi. So today the scenario is the government official is not bothering. It is confirmed by the facility which is not available for them. So that was the first thing which is you can write in the segment of by citizens, insensitivity of citizens towards that. That was the point. And now I am discussing and I will tell you the insensitivity by the government officials. There is two parts. First part was by the citizens of society, and now we are discussing the insensitivity towards this problem, towards the implementation of this act by government official, because there is two segments now, government and citizens. So we have discussed citizens. The first and foremost thing by the government officials is they are not implementing in the right spirit of the act, because it can be seen, it can be reflected by these following means. अब आप वो मीन्स को लिख दीजिए, क्या है? नो रैम्प्स एट पब्लिक प्लेस. पब्लिक प्लेस मीन्स रेलवे स्टेशन, बस स्टैंड, सिनेमा हाउस, घर, whatsoever the public place. विकलांग आदमी कैसे सीढ़ी चढ़ेगा ये सामने वाला? कायदे से उसके लिए रैंप की व्यवस्था है, एक्ट में लिखा हुआ है. तो नो रैम्प्स, बट इट इज अवेलेबल समवेयर, बट नॉट इन द ऑल प्लेसेस. सेकेंड, वाइडनिंग डोर. उनका देयर व्हील चेयर शुड बी इंटर्ड थ्रू दैट डोर. द डिजाइनिंग ऑफ डोर इज नॉट गेटिंग modified so that they should get accommodated. Even the railway, if you are talking about the railway, the train's gate is not fit for entering that wheelchair into inside the compartment, and that is fighting, that has been fighting since long back. But we are so insensitive that we are not bothering about that demands. Third is bathroom facility. Because what the bathroom we are using, that bathroom is not fit for the differently disabled people. Physical handicap तो नहीं कह सकते, earlier it was. So that is the basic bathroom facility is not up to the mark and not as per the drawing and design of for disabled people. Fourth is linguistic barrier. Linguistic barrier means वो क्या बोलते हैं, एक बीमारी होती है ना, ऑटिज्म. हाँ, तो उसके देखिए, उसके साथ लिंग्विस्टिक प्रॉब्लम सबसे ज्यादा है. तो दैट बैरियर इज लिंग्विस्टिक बैरियर. ब्रेल लिपि, यू हैव विजिटेड Dehradun Institute where the braille lip is or blind. So that is provision कि each and every public place should be embossed by that braille लिपि. आपने देखा होगा वो ऐसे छू के पता करता है, वो कुछ पॉइंट्स उभरे हुए होते हैं. आप ट्रेन में देखिए ना, ट्रेन में हो गया है. हाँ, तो आप कभी जाइए, सीट पे बैठिए, तो आपका सीट नंबर होगा 34, तो वहाँ पे नीचे कुछ इस टाइप से पॉइंट बने होंगे. तो दैट डिफरेंटली एबल पीपल कैन टच इट and he or she will find out the what is the number. You can imagine कि after so many years of efforts that facility for differently able people has been provided. So you can imagine why इतना time लगना. This is not the right spirit of the differently able people. Fourth is harassing at workplace. Of whatever employer, whosoever is employer, his duty is confined that you should be treat that fellow in the better manner, in the positive manner, and whatever he or she deserves for that treatment, you will provide that treatment, you provide that ecosystem, you will have to provide that environment so that he or she could perform as per his or her ability. So fifth is harassing of workplace, and last but not the least, that is victimization. If any victimization, if any wrongs, if any false result come out, then the peer group suddenly start shouting and start making such type of environment that he or she is the only responsible for not performing or for wrong performing of the job. Everybody is taking grant, taking benefits for his or her disability. So these are the situations which is not being handled, which is not being cared by the government officials. Despite of that, there is a provision in 2016 to be granted, to be given to that disability. So such type of answer to be framed, and that should be divided between citizen and government official. Clear hai? Any question, any doubts you can raise? Okay, can we proceed for next? Okay. So next is directly related with economics as well as governance polity. So the question is, seems that it should be covered in economics. The question is that reforming the government delivery system through the direct benefit transfer scheme is a progressive step. Please be careful. Direct, when it was implemented in the country, in India, any guess? No, 2013, before coming the Modi government. So reforming the government delivery system through the direct benefit transfer is a progressive step, not reached at the final destination, and it is under progressive, means it is under process of improvement. It means that there is lots of confusion and lots of problem is inherent in that concept. The question itself says you should not contradict that answer, that question in your answer writing. We have achieved this and that. You have not achieved the destiny. So that's why it is saying that the progressive step, but it has its limitation too. It means that whatever the reason behind not 100% success of this scheme and continuing as a progressive step is its limitation. क्वेश्चन ही खुद कह रहा है कि अभी ये प्रोसेस में है, और प्रोसेस में इसलिए है बिकॉज देर इज लॉट्स ऑफ लिमिटेशंस. So you should feel the spirit of this question, what the question is saying, what the question is being asked. So this is the question. DPT is in progressive step, but it has its limitation too. So you will have 150 words again. So what is DPT? To send the subsidies to beneficiaries account directly by the government agency, that is direct benefit transfer. Simple, इतना लिख दीजिए बस. And after that you will have to write the benefit of this scheme DBT, and after mentioning that positive points you will have to come back on the limitations, and that limitations will reflect that this is not up to the mark, not at the attainment of the final conclusion, final stage. Clear है? So we will have to solve in two manner. Bifurcating that DPT's credit या merit of DPT is this, and after mentioning that come back to the limitations, what is the problems. After that this problem and this merit to be summarized in one or two lines in the last, so that your answer to be affirmed that due to limitations it has not attained his or her destiny, it is under the progressive stage. Clear hai? So that will be a structure. I am talking about the how to you structure that questions in your answer writing. Clear hai? So what is the merit? Merit is, first merit is, you always try to prioritize your points. The most suitable, most meaningful point to be written in first number. What is that? That is the transparency, because this term is so wide, you can include each and everything in this terminology. So merit is that transparency. There is no need to say that how the transparency has emerged. You know better. DPT का benefit transparency, because the money from A to B is directly transferred without any intermediary, without any middleman, है ना? So that is the transparency. Second is corruption free. ये point आप लिख लेना. Corruption free, access. There is no need to say how this DBT has eliminated the corruptions. There is no need, you can write one line, two line. Third is no pilferage, no theft. Pilferage लिखिए, theft मत लिखिए. Third is pilferage. Pilferage, all the terminology are interlinked with transparency, but you will have to write in this way, otherwise there is no point to write in one go, in one benefits, in one words, that is it has become transparent, it has become corruption free. Any words you can choose, but what to be written, that terminology to be used. And benefit, the next is enhanced purchasing power. फोर्थ में क्या हो गया? Enhanced. How enhancement of purchasing power has been taken place? Enhanced. Any guess? ये क्वेश्चन बन सकता है. How the DBT has led. Good. Okay, good. So that is enhance the purchasing power. You are absolutely right. That is the main descriptions which you have told. तो ठीक है. Next is purchase as per liking, what you just tell. And the third is, next is real or actual identification of beneficiaries. You cannot deviate that the beneficiary is not true or not actual. That money, because the payment part and bank account is directly linked with the Aadhaar, so there is no scope of pilferage or for fake identifications of the beneficiary. So this point is also a good point, the actual identification of beneficiary. And the next point is also linked with the previous one, that the no duplication of payment, because it is linked with the Aadhaar card. ठीक है ना, एक आदमी का एक ही आधार कार्ड होगा. There is no other Aadhaar card is connected, only one person, one Aadhaar card, one account. So that is synchronized with three things, and it is perfectly made his path to achieve that DBT target. Ultimate target is that the beneficiary should get the money, not bichwalia, not intermediary. So this is the social upliftment, social cause, social basis, social consequence. Are you getting my point? Whatever I told, that 4-5 point is just meant for social basis, societal upliftment of DPT. What about political and economic upliftment of DPT? Because I always try to say that your answer should be different from others. DBT is so simple, anybody can read and write so many things. But the question is that how will you differentiate yourself in that answer writing? Otherwise, everybody is on the same pedestal, everybody knows what is the DBT, he also knows, I also know. But my suggestion and question pertaining to this answer writing is that whatever I told you, that is the social cause, social improvement, social measures. But what about other measures? Because people will not write other than that. Are you getting my point? So you will be differentiate yourself amongst the bheed, amongst the crowd, by putting some extra point as a economic and political measure. So after that you write कि DBT has changed the scenario in the society in following में जो आपने हेडिंग डाला, तो पहले वाले को कर दीजिए सोशल कॉज या सोशल बेनिफिट. ठीक है ना, whatever I have told 4-5 point, that should be covered under social merits. Good. And the second part to be written, political merits. Ultimately, the government is, a state is meant for the development and welfare of the society. This is the prime objective of the state system, Rajya Vyavastha. That a state system is enshrined in the political system. So that political system is desired that you will have to get economic justice. That is written in preamble also of the constitution. So that political ambitions is government should work in such a manner that each and every citizen should get the economic justice. Clear hai? So this DBT is directly correlated with your preamble, where it has been written that the economic justice, to get economic justice, to provide economic justice, to provide economic justice is the duty of a state. And this concept is also proving that concept assisting that concept to achieve the economic justice in the society at large. ये आपको लिखना पड़ेगा. अगर आपने political merit नहीं लिखा, then you will not get good answer. And the second is Article 1.4. Article 1.4, where it is written that the Samanata equality right. Everybody should get benefits of the economic justice. So Article 14 is also covered, and Article 38, that is DPSP, saying that the state is bound, a state is provided assistance to the workers for getting work, for getting remuneration. So that is welfare state. On the basis of that, Article 38, it has been established that the state should work as a welfare state. So all these activities will inculcate your political benefit or political mileage by establishing DPT. Clear है? अब your answer will be just changed. Nobody will touch that. And if you think in other way around, so without this concept, yeah, with this concept, directly or indirectly, government is benefiting himself or herself that I am working in such a manner that the welfare state concept is being established, as well as your fundamental right is established, and the preamble is also getting established and affirmity by this DBT. अब आप सोचिए, you can think कि how the examiner will be impressed with your answer. Clear है? Second part, limitations. So that was the first part, and the benefits, and after that you will say that there is still lots of limitations, lots of problems in inherent of DBT. That's why it has not attained the target, and it is under still progressive stage. So what is that activities? By on the basis of that we can say like that. The first point is that poor digital literacy, or you will have to write the episode or incident I am going to tell you. Poor digital literacy. There was agitation going on in the Muzaffarpur district of Bihar. Literacy. समझ रहे हैं? So that is the poor digital literacy, and you will have to write in your answer about the agitations of DBT for getting DBT in Bihar in Muzaffarpur of Bihar state. There was agitation by the women that they are not getting timely payment of MG Narega because the attendance part is dealt by the applications in mobile applications, and that literacy is not available. So whatever work they have already performed in the previous days, that attendance is not taken into consideration by that app. App is saying that you are absent on that day. So that is the problem. So you will have to write this episode, just remarking that the episode of Muzaffarpur district, where the women is getting harassment by these applications of MG Narega because their attendance has been marked absent on the work on the day which has already been worked by her. Clear है? तो जब आप इसको लिखेंगे, इसको कोट करेंगे, then your answer quality will get improved and you will get more marks. Yes. First is that. Second is misuse of fund by beneficiary, जो you have already discussed. If the paisa is meant for X and he or she is enjoying Y, so that is the second point. And third is dependency over local leaders. Whatever the Mukhiya Sarpanch is saying, and he or she is managing all the activities, the laborer class whosoever is not digital or otherwise non-digital literate, they are getting suffered. That is the limitations. And fourth is jolt between cash or crop. People are demanding that cash or money in liquid form. Somewhere they are demanding crops, rice, wheat. So that is another type of jolt going on in this system, because government is giving money and money is being misused by their husband to purchase some other way around. So that is jolt between cash and crop. This is the ground reality. You will have to highlight that issue also. And goods and next is inclusion and exclusion error. That terminology to be used in question, in answer writing, you will have to keep in mind that the terminology whatever you are using should be a standard, because examiner expects from you that your vocabulary, your expression, your word and your choice of terminology to be at par of a standards language which has been written or is being writing in the policy or anywhere else. You should not use such type of local dialects or local language. So that is inclusion and exclusion error. And last but not the least, that is revenue deficit of due to DBT. Or this should be elaborated in the context of the Sri Lankan economic crisis. I am telling you, if you should warn government by putting this statement in one liner that revenue deficit is being taken in the country, whether it is required or not required, you should also keep in mind the Sri Lankan crisis. बस इतना लिख दीजिए, just put that word. Revenue deficit is going to be, and it should be used in such a manner that we should not get affected at the pattern of Sri Lankan. भाई Sri Lankan crisis आना चाहिए कहीं ना कहीं, तब आपका जो है आंसर होगा बढ़िया, और फिर आप पाएंगे आउट ऑफ 10 you will get 6 marks. That is a higher that is the highest mark examiner try to give, 6, not 6.5. 6 to 7 is the highest. So yeah, so I always try to tell you ki how the answer will be different from the others. This is not rocket science of DBT. Everybody knows. Rickshaw wala is also knows. My driver, my car driver was telling that कि श्रीलंका में 1300 रुपया किलो चिकन बिक रहा है, 1300 rupees per kg chicken is being sold, and the milk is 420 or 430 rupees per liter. Why this happened? Revenue deficit. And why revenue deficit has been taken place? That was the previous culture. So you should make point in your answer that you should reflect your answer differently from the others. ये पूरा स्क्रीन पे नहीं आता क्या फ्रेंड्स? ये पूरा स्क्रीन जो है रिकॉर्डिंग में मैं कल देख रहा था इतना ही आ रहा था. हाँ, ऐसे आना चाहिए. यूट्यूब पे जब चलाए थे ना तो पूरा नहीं आ रहा था. आज देख लेना क्या रीजन था. So this is the answer writing, that is DBT and how DBT is functioning and why it is on the progressive stage, and what is the reason behind that is not attain the target, and what is the hidden points which is limiting. So every reply will be treated good, but that will not take more than 4 marks. By putting these fundamentals, the innovative idea, it will reach you 6 marks. Good. Any doubt, any questions? If you are not asking questions, then I will feel that if people are just listening my lecture, you are not raising any questions. So you should try. This is also a habit, so that interactive mode you will be gained and you will be benefited more and more. Otherwise, there is no problem. So interactive होने से you will be get benefited. Next, आ गया श्रीलंका. वेरी गुड. भारत श्रीलंका. India is an age-old friend of Sri Lanka. Discuss India's role in the recent crisis in Sri Lanka in the light of the preceding statement. कह रहा है कि भारत जो है श्रीलंका का बरसों पुराना मित्र है. बात तो सही है. इसके रेफरेंस में जो है आप भारत का रोल ऑफ इंडिया डिस्कस करिए कि इसका जो है श्रीलंका के साथ जो क्राइसिस हुआ है उसमें इंडिया जो है क्या कर सकता है, क्योंकि वो हमारा पुराना मित्र है. इसको बेस लेकर के क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है. तो इसमें बैकग्राउंड में, इफ यू आर गोइंग टू इन द बैकग्राउंड, that the crisis of Sri Lanka is totally related with the economic crisis, nor any political or social or racial or anthropological or anthropogenic. Clear है? Political included you can say, but that is the basis, that is the reason behind that problem. But problem I am talking about, what is the problem? The problem is economic crisis. I am not going to take into consideration that what is the reason of that economic crisis. Good. Okay. But right now we are discussing what is the problem pertaining to the Sri Lanka. The problem is economic crisis. So, because this is the 150 words question, na? So that's why you will have to be stick on that parameter. तो भारत श्रीलंका का बरसों पुराना मित्र है. You can agree because there will be no any tension or any conflict has been with Sri Lanka and India. So this statement is good. But the question is that what is the role of India in the recent crisis in Sri Lanka? क्या रोल है उसका, क्या कर सकता है वगैरह वगैरह. तो इसमें आपको सिर्फ ये लिखना है, जस्ट ऑनलाइन स्टार्टिंग, कि श्रीलंका इज फेसिंग द प्रॉब्लम और क्राइसिस ऑफ श्रीलंका इज डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड विद द इकोनॉमिक अफेयर्स एंड द रोल ऑफ इंडिया टू गेट remedial measures regarding this crisis is as follows. खत्म. हेडिंग आप ऐसा डालें so that the basic background should also be covered in heading. So heading, I am again repeating, the role of India in context of Sri Lankan crisis pertaining to economic affairs. ऐसे लिख सकते हैं. आर्थिक क्षेत्र में श्रीलंका की समस्याओं पर भारत का योगदान, कंट्रीब्यूशन. तो इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस है, दैट इज क्लियर कट, देयर इज नो डाउट. तो हाउ दिस इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस इमर्ज, ये सब चीजें मैं इसलिए बता रहा हूं कि आंसर आपका बेहतर कैसे बनेगा. वैसे तो उठा के आप शुरू कर देंगे, देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम, यू विल स्टार्ट राइटिंग जस्ट. बट बिफोर स्टार्टिंग राइटिंग you will think at least 1 minute, what should I write and what should not I write. Yes, 1 minute to be chintan, to be thinking, to be brainstorming what should be right, because the first paragraph, first starting line will be the impressive in the mind of examiner. तो आपको ये लिखना पड़ेगा. हाँ. तो आप वो हेडिंग डालने के बाद आप उसमें लिखिए पहला जो क्राइसिस है, क्योंकि इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस है, तो स्ट्रगलिंग टू डील विथ डिवास्टेशन, और बल्कि इसको थोड़ा और बेहतर बना सकते हैं कैसे, यू विल राइट कि द श्रीलंकन क्राइसिस, मैं लिख ही देता हूँ, श्रीलंकन crisis pertaining or related with economic crisis related with economic affairs, SPHERES, economic affairs due to mismanagement of economic activities like promoting freebies। अब आप देखिए, आप ऐसा हेडिंग डाल दीजिए, freebies and role of India into it। अब आप देखिए, ये मैं क्लियर लिख के इसलिए बताया कि आपको कंफ्यूजन ना हो, और you should get acquainted कि what should be written and what should not be written, and how these things will be improve your answer writing quality। तो हमने क्या लिखा, this is the heading, but this heading is including so many factors related with the Sri Lankan crisis related with economic affairs due to mismanagement of economic activities like promoting freebies and the role of India into it. This is the heading, but this heading tells much more the demand of question। क्वेश्चन ये नहीं पूछ रहा है, क्वेश्चन ये नहीं पूछ रहा है कि क्यों हुआ, आप समझ रहे हैं ना, बट आई ट्राई टू इम्प्रेस दैट एग्जामिनर कि आई नो ईच एंड एवरीथिंग ऑफ श्रीलंका व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन, दैट्स व्हाई आई पुट 2-3 words, freebie, mismanagement, getting? So these two words, not sentence, these two words is good enough to tell the Sri Lankan crisis. Yes, so that will be impressions in examiner's mind. You are more than a smart, and you smartly tried to tell without exceeding the word limit, and you impress the examiner that I am the number one amongst all the aspirants. This is the diplomacy. वर्ड लिमिट भी नहीं बढ़ा, इसमें क्या बढ़ा, 2 वर्ड ही तो बढ़ा आपको। तो you should always try to put some innovative, some creativity in your answers at the first line or second line or third line. After that you write whatever everybody is trying to write. Nobody is going to bother. Everybody knows what is the crisis and what is. But the question is that I am always repeating that a statement ki easy questions should not be treated as so easy, because everybody will write in the same manner. Then where will be the differentiation on that questions? The differentiation will be made on this only 2 points. And if you are putting this smartly heading, mentioning, incorporating the such type of terminology, you will get 6 marks, I am telling you. But the people does not create their signature, does not create their values in the आंसर राइटिंग। क्लियर है? तो ये हेडिंग आप ऐसे डालिए जिससे इम्प्रेस हो जाए एग्जाम में, वाह यार इसको तो पता है यार कि श्रीलंका में इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस और वो कह रहा फ्रीबीज के चक्कर में हुआ ये सब। तो दिस इज द हिडन एजेंडा, दैट इज द हिडन and after that you write what is the crisis first. So after that you will mentioning that the crisis in Sri Lanka by 2 3 4 point, not more than the 25 words. The first will be struggling to deal with devastation caused by economic crisis. Second will be culture of freebies led to fiscal prudence deficit. And next, what is the crisis spreading out that country? 22 million people, 26 year of civil war ended in 2009. This is not being asked, ध्यान देना मेरी बात पे, लेकिन ये पॉइंट डालना जरूरी है so that answer should be higher and higher quality. And next, tourism decline due to COVID, fiscal deficit more than 10%, forex reserve only 2 billion USD, है ना, foreign debt USD 7 billion, and overnight shifting to organic farming. जब वहाँ खरीदने के लिए कुछ फर्टिलाइजर के लिए पैसा नहीं है तो उन्होंने ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग रातों रात शुरू कर दिया, वो भी एक रीजन। बट दिस इज नॉट बीइंग आस्क्ड, जस्ट यू स्मार्टली हाईलाइट द बैकग्राउंड इन 3-4 लाइन, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं जाएगा ये, है ना। द करंट सिनेरियो, इकोनॉमिक सिनेरियो ऑफ श्रीलंका प्रिवेल्स लाइक दिस खत्म। कल्चर ऑफ फ्रीबीज, हाँ, led to fiscal prudence, हाँ, that is the good terminology। तो अब आपका जो है ये हो गया कम से कम 15 शब्दों में, जो अभी हमने बोला ये हो गया 30 शब्दों में। आपके पास बचा बहुत ज़्यादा, अभी चिंता मत करिए, अब हम आ रहे हैं वहाँ, क्योंकि इसमें अगर आप सीधा सीधा यू राइट द आंसर इन द रोल ऑफ इंडिया, then the answer will not be comprehensive, because examiner will not get what do you want to say. So that's why the background is required to be mentioned in this question answer. After that you write role of India to manage this crisis of Sri Lanka. तो role of India में जो भी रोल है, जैसे बैलेंसिंग रोल है इसका बिटवीन श्रीलंका एंड चाइना, Sri Lanka should not incline towards China. It is important, it is a strategic factor for India. That's why India should intervene, should interfere on the issues of economic crisis, not other than that. ये लिखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि ये पूछ रहे हैं ना कि रोल क्या है इसका, और because of the China's intrusion and China's relations of Sri Lanka is economically stronger. Yeah. So that should be right. And second thing, Sri Lanka is associated with the Tamil Nadu. So there are 1670 intruders, Ghuspaitiya. Intruders have arrived in the Indian geographical area. So this cannot be enhanced, this cannot be exaggerated in future. So that is also required to be tackled with Sri Lanka government by the India. So this is the second role where you should be intervene, you should be aware about that problem. Third is neighborhood first policy of India. This is the policy of government of India regarding the neighbors. So that policy is known as neighborhood first policy. मतलब our priority is neighbors not the remote countries. If you have to choose neighbors and the Russia or America or any other city, then it will be preferable to be protection to be discussed, to be coordinated with the neighbor country. So that is the third point. Fourth is sentiments of Tamils. You know better what has been in earlier stage, the Prabhakaran and so was in Tamil Ilam and so many problems. The inclination of Tamilian people of India was always been inclined towards Sri Lankan Tamils. So that should be kept in mind, it should be written. And after this political help or whatever the help is required to Sri Lanka, the next help to be written in the political manner, economical manner, that is the USD 2.4 billion assistance plus 1.5 USD credit line. Do you know credit line? Have you heard this name? Credit line means if I am going to finance you as a debt or anything financial inclusion, then the work whatever will be taken in that geographical area will be handled or you will have to award that work to the India, because he has given money on the credit line. Because you are going to establish anything in infrastructural firm and you can hire anybody, but once I have given money on the credit line, then those work to be handled, to be given, to be awarded to the country whosoever has given that money. Clear है? तो क्रेडिट लाइन पे 1.5 USD दिया है. And yeah. If the money is giving on the condition of that credit line, there is 2-3 concept of financing. One is credit line. I forgot that name. One, two more. So that money to be, if you are using that money in the infra creations, you will have to hire anybody. It is better to hire me. I will render my support for execution that assignment of that work. So that is called credit line. और आप आगे लिखिए इसमें कि 40,000 टन्स डीजल, 40,000 टन्स डीजल एंड 40,000 टन राइस इंडिया ने भेजा है. ये क्वेश्चन फिर आएगा इस साल, चाहे प्री में आए चाहे मेंस में आए, क्योंकि ये इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन से भी है और स्ट्रेटेजिक क्वेश्चन है, तो ये पक्का आएगा. तो यू कैन राइट इन दिस वे. MOU हुआ है रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के फील्ड में. श्रीलंकन एंड इंडिया गवर्नमेंट हैज मेक MOU टू एस्टेब्लिश सोलर एनर्जी और रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी. क्लियर है? So in this way you can write this answer. And the 10th question will be the last discussing question. Do you think that BIMSTEC is a parallel organization like the SARC? What are the similarities and dissimilarity between the two? These are very simple questions. How are Indian foreign policy objectives realized by forming this new organization? ये सबसे बड़ा जो है क्वेश्चन है इसमें, यही इतना लेट क्यों किया इंडिया ने, ये तो पहले ही हो जाना चाहिए. तो बिम्स्टेक एंड सार्क, यू नो, इंडिया, मिजोरम, हाँ, म्यांमार. तो दैट इज फुल फॉर्म. कितना, 8 कंट्री है ना. तो बिम्स्टेक 1997 or it was in 1985 SARC. So what is the similarity? So similarity is you write like this. This is BIMSTEC and this is SARC. Just और यहाँ दे दीजिए सिमिलरिटी, और यहाँ दीजिए डिसिमिलरिटी, ऐसे लिखिए, है ना। बस चार्ट बना दीजिए और इसमें पॉइंट डाल दीजिए, खत्म। इतना हो गया आपका कि व्हाट इज द सिमिलरिटी एंड व्हाट इज द डिसिमिलरिटी। सिमिलरिटी ऑल आर रीजनल, हाँ, that is BIMSTEC and SARC both are meant for the regional cooperation। तो सिमिलरिटी ये हो गया। दूसरा कि देयर है नंबर ऑफ मेंबर्स, सार्क हैविंग 8, इसमें पता नहीं 7 है या 8 है, एग्जैक्ट मुझे नहीं पता है, तो दैट नंबर इज द सेम। थर्ड, पर्पस इज द सेम, फॉर्मेशन इज द सेम, है ना। तो 2-3 पॉइंट्स, फॉर्मेशन, पर्पस, तो ये दोनों चीज, एक आध पॉइंट और यू कैन पुट इट इन द बिटवीन BIMSTEC and SARC। And what is the dissimilarity? The first point is the Pakistan and Afghanistan is not included in this list। तो पहला डिसिमिलरिटी। दूसरा कि डिसिमिलरिटी में एक म्यांमार है, तो म्यांमार वाज नॉट इन, हाँ, तो दैट इज चैलेंजिंग पॉइंट ऑफ रेदर देन द सार्क। एंड थर्ड डिसिमिलरिटीज क्या होगा? दैट इज meant फॉर इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, but there in civil SARC there was no clear cut purpose of the economic development, that was the regional cooperation। So there is the difference, so 2-3 points similarity, 2-3 points dissimilarity, that is good enough। After that ये कह रहा है कि बना इसको, हाँ, how are Indian foreign policy objectives realized by forming this new organization। तो रियलाइज कैसे हुआ उनको, जब पाकिस्तान से हम लोग झेलते रहे 85 से लेकर अब तक, और कोई प्रोग्रेस, देयर वाज नो एनी प्रोग्रेस ऑफ रीजनल कोऑपरेशन बिटवीन इंडिया और अदर देन पाकिस्तान, बिकॉज पाकिस्तान ऑलवेज कम्स इनटू द पिक्चर एंड जस्ट इंट्रूड्स दैट डायलॉग्स कि नो नो नो, दिस शुड बी डिस्कस, कश्मीर प्रॉब्लम शुड बी डिस्कस। तो सच टाइप ऑफ behavior, irrelevant behavior of Pakistan could not get achieved, could not get the purpose or objective of the SARC main goals। बिल्कुल सही। So that's why after puzzling in such a behavior, India thought that we should get the new formations of regional cooperation group excluding Pakistan and हाँ 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 बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। तो दैट्स वाई इंडियन फॉरेन पॉलिसी ऑब्जेक्टिव्स रियलाइज कि भाई इस सार्क से मुक्ति पाओ, बजाय इसको एलिमिनेट करने का, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी एलिमिनेशन राउंड, बट इट इज बेटर टू कीप असाइड ऑफ दिस सार्क एंड यू शुड फॉर्म न्यू रीजनल ग्रुप ऑफ कोऑपरेशंस एक्सक्लूडिंग दैट पाकिस्तान। तो दिस वाज द थ्योरी बिहाइंड दिस ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ फॉर्मेशंस ऑफ BIMSTEC। 2-4 लाइन आप और लिख सकते हो, बट द वे ऑफ अ स्ट्रक्चर शुड बी लाइक दिस। एग्जामिनर इज नॉट इंटरेस्टेड टू रीड योर होल टेक्स्ट, एनीबडी इज नॉट इंटरेस्टेड। इफ आई एम पुटिंग सच टाइप ऑफ फॉर्मेशन एंड डायग्राम, देन you or anybody will feel comfortable, oh good, yeah, so yeah। If you are putting the text, then there will be very problem for me to write, to read and write। बिल्कुल 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 सही। तो उसमें प्रॉब्लम, देयर इज प्रॉब्लम pertaining to the handwriting। if I am not able to read your statement, I will feel just, so in that situations examiner will not going to take your positive cognizance। So this is the questions related to the BIMSTEC and SARC, and what is the similarity and dissimilarity, and what was the objective we have discussed, and how the answer will be structured। Anything else you should, otherwise the next will be the Monday, People Representation Act, it is also in anything else to be discussed, you should stop at this stage. Okay, good. So yeah, you just. So how much differentiations are you feeling for the perspective of answer writing? Because this is the backbone of your examination. Each and every padhai likhai is useless unless until it is not being reflected in the proper manner and impressive manner, and whatever manner you try to incorporate, that depends upon the impressions on the in the mind of examiner, and he will or she will put extra mark. So such type of terminology, such type of creativity, you should always try to incorporate in your answer writing, especially in the first start or in the last start, last in closure. Tell me. Okay. ये APPSC क्वेश्चन random. It has not been taken from any examination. Okay, what is the question? Tell me. Impact. Migration on demography. Yes. Yeah. What's that to tag in urban migration phenomenon? Okay, that is the next, second question. So first we discuss impact of migrations on urban demography. You know urban demography. Demography means each and every aspect of the human related with the activities, related with the physiology, related with anything. That is not confined only in the demography pertaining to the. Okay. So first you will have to know about demography. So demography means that is the human geography, that is the physiological parts of the mankind of the society. What is the age, what is the gender, what is the male female ratio, what is the sex ratio, what is the incremental, what is the population, and all this you know demography. So demography you will have to just define in one line. What is the demography? तो आप डेमोग्राफी जो हमने बोला वो आप लिख दीजिए, एंड उस लिखने के बाद उसमें लास्ट में कर दीजिए एंड इम्पैक्ट ऑन अर्बन अफेयर्स अर्बन डेमोग्राफी. हेडिंग आप इतना डालने के बाद आफ्टर दैट यू राइट इम्पैक्ट. द फर्स्ट इम्पैक्ट यू राइट पॉजिटिव. Actually problem is that whenever a person asks the impact, people just forget that the impact is negative impact, and they forget that the what is the positive effect. That is so that is the so designed concept in our mind that you always take as a negative aspect. If anybody asks what is the impact of your padhai, impact of your literacy, so this is the problem. So you will always be very neutral on such type of issues, and that should be inculcated in your daily life. If your behavior is not in such a positive manner, then suddenly in one night you cannot be a positive person for the society. That's yes. That's why this preparation of UPSC does not warrant your only knowledge. It warrants, it desires that the how much your personality attributable trait is inclined with the positive. Clear hai? You should not feel that the overpopulation is a burden of the society. You should not criticize the dignity or any poorer or any lower strata of the people. But this type of mindset should be arise in your mind first. After that your personality will build up according to that traits, and your traits will be developed in conjunction of the requirement. अदरवाइज होता क्या है कि सडनली आप दिन भर रात भर तो नेगेटिव बातें करते हैं, अरे भाई तेरा कहाँ से सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा, फ्रॉम वेयर यू गेट सेलेक्टेड, यार दिस इज वेरी टफ एग्जामिनेशन, पीपल लाइक दैट है. एंड सेकेंड थिंग, you also start taunting, start making mockery to the other persons whosoever is initiated in the, अरे देखो वो जूस की दुकान कर रहा है, आईएएस पढ़ने आया था. So you should not say, we should not say such type of negative, defamatory, such type of statements, such type of language. Should not talk. You should build your personality in such a manner that everybody should feel that the who are you and why. देखना कौन है जाके, देखो देखो कुछ पूछना आया होगा जाओ. So you should not make your personality in such a manner. You should always feel if I do not get the selection in UPSC, then my knowledge and my temperament and my behavior, my personality will certainly get improved, and I will achieve the other activities, other spheres activities in my life. आपको ये फील होना चाहिए कि भाई अल्टीमेटली 800-900 people will get selected. The market is 10 lakhs aspirants, at least 5-6 lakhs whosoever is going to be in preliminary. तो ये प्रॉब्लम जो है आपकी पर्सनालिटी से जुड़ा हुआ होता है, और इंटरव्यू में भी वही देखता है वो कि आप कितना नेगेटिव है एंड हाउ मच यू आर पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव, और यू आर मेकिंग बैलेंस बिटवीन द बोथ. तो ये सारी दिक्कतें आती है. तो अगर ये इम्पैक्ट की बात कर रहा है ना, तो सडनली यू विल स्टार्ट नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट, अरे इतना रस है, इतना क्राउड है, पीपुल आर सो यूजलेस. कौन था? ओके. तो माने लोग सडनली योर माइंड विल इमर्ज इन सच ए नेगेटिव पर्सपेक्टिव कि दैट और वेरी वेरी ओवर पॉपुलेशन इज क्रिएटिंग बेसिक नीड्स is not available, people are residing on the road at the whole night of the winter season, people are creating nuisance, they are making dirty of that ecosystem. Such type of problem will emerge in your mind. Your mind suddenly went into the ghettos area, outsider area of the Delhi, where there are so much criminal activities in Nehru Vihar, and such type of connaissance comes in your mind drastically. So that's why I am suggesting that your personality reflects in these questions. So you cannot change your personality in a one go or in a just one night. So you should try to build yourself as a positive personality. दुनिया में नेगेटिव चीज़ें बहुत है, but you don't try to see it. What is the impact of migration on urban demography? हाँ, तो दैट इज पॉजिटिव पॉइंट. पॉजिटिव पॉइंट्स में आप लिख दीजिए इंटरमिक्सिंग एंड सॉलिडरिटी, है ना. इंटरमिक्सिंग, सॉलिडरिटी, मीन्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन विल बी इनरिच्ड बिकॉज मैन पावर चाहिए ना, है ना. फिर डिवीजन ऑफ लेबर, हर टाइप के काम के लिए लोग चाहिए, हैं, एनरिच होगा इससे. और इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ, कंट्रीब्यूशन इन जीडीपी बाय दैट माइग्रेशंस, दिस एंड दैट. हाँ, तो ये सब पॉजिटिव चीज़ें जो है आप इसमें लिखिए, एंड आफ्टर दैट 2-3-4 पॉइंट्स शुड बी ब्रॉट इनटू दैट आंसर एज ए नेगेटिव पार्ट. तो नेगेटिव पार्ट्स क्या होगा? हाँ, घेटो या स्लम्स जिसे कहते हैं. घेटो यू हैव नोन, घेटो दैट इज द स्लम्स इन अमेरिका, दैट इज नोन एज घेटो. That nomenclature is ghetto, that is universally globally accepted terms, but slums is not the universally accepted term. You should try to write ghetto, not slums. माने नेगेटिव में भी पॉजिटिव है. There is positivity in negativity, कि to say that ghetto. So ghetto culture, little bit crime, because people does not have means of bhojan, means of livelihood. In that situation, little bit crimes is also creating. And third one, population, yeah, stagnation, no, population growth, and pollution and social exclusion, social exclusion. तो ये सब पॉइंट नहीं, population growth in that way it is a negative, because the people whosoever is transmitting from urban, rural to urban, the concept of population's control is not in their mind. They are just procreating the children's kids at the level whatever they are reproducing in the, so that population growth is not only the reason behind procreation, but it is transmitting from rural to urban. So that is the burden, over अर्बन. हाँ हाँ, तो पॉल्यूशन भी आ जाएगा, ध्यान रखना. बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं. तो पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ नॉट बाय ओनली रिप्रोडक्शन, बट दैट इज द माइग्रेटरी, because that is the migration system is going on from rural to urban, then it will be the problem, because town or metro or urban is not fully equipped with handle of such type of volumes of manpower. Yeah, that is the meaning of population growth in this way. Yeah. हाँ, yes yes. तो ये सब थोड़ा थोड़ा इसमें 5-6 पॉइंट हमने बताया, दैट शुड बी रिटन एंड हियर शुड बी रिटन मोर एंड मोर. क्लियर है? एंड व्हाट वाज द नेक्स्ट इन कंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन? हाँ, गुड. तो आप लिखिए, पहले सबसे पहले क्या करना चाहिए? कॉटेज इंडस्ट्रीज को प्रमोट करिए एट द विलेज लेवल. इकोनॉमिक ऑटोनॉमी दीजिए. कैसे? बाई सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप, बाई फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन, है कि नहीं, बाई क्रिएटिंग जॉब्स थ्रू इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. ये सब अंग्रेजी लिखिए स्टैंडर्ड, है ना. और कैसे प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व किया जाएगा? प्रमोटिंग रूरल बेस्ड इकोनॉमी इन कमर्शलाइज्ड मैनर, लाइक डेयरी फार्मिंग, फिश फार्मिंग, दिस दैट, ये सब लिखिए. आगे लिखिए कि प्रमोटिंग एग्रीकल्चर एंड एलाइड एक्टिविटीज along with the agri, promoting commercial crops as well as horticulture, so that the creations of revenue should be taken in their own pockets and their own residence or area. तो ये सब एक्टिविटीज करेंगे. भाई लोग क्यों आता है यहाँ से? ये से भी MG नरेगा. हाँ बिल्कुल, बेटर एजुकेशन, तो दैट फैसिलिटी टू बी एस्टेब्लिश. बिल्कुल सही बात है. तो यू शुड क्रिएट द बेसिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एट द लोकल लेवल, so that the migration should not get accelerated. It will be, but it will be the slow pace. तो ये सब चीज़ें डाल दीजिए उसमें. प्रमोटिंग एग्रीकल्चर, एलाइड एक्टिविटीज, कॉटेज इंडस्ट्रीज को प्रमोट करिए, इकोनॉमिक ऑटोनॉमी दीजिए विथ सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप, फाइनेंस, दिस दैट. बहुत हो गया. बट अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग दैट क्वेश्चन इज easy, but don't treat as a easy, and you should get extra marks on the basis of that you are using the correct and standard terminology in your answer. so many terms I've used, exclusion, inclusion, financial inclusion, cottage industry, ये जो बोली basic infrastructure should be developed, so that should be written in this way. Otherwise, if you are not using the standard terminology, then your answer will be get 4-5 marks, not 6-7. Next. फिर से बोलो, लिखना पड़ेगा क्वेश्चन रिपीट. हाँ, चेन चाइल्ड, अच्छा चाइल्ड, चाइल्ड सेक्स, हाँ हाँ हाँ, child sex ratio is declining through, oh, overall sex ratio देना, मैं खुद पढ़ू, थोड़ा टिपिकल तो लग रहा है. Statistics show that the child sex ratio is declining through there is an increase in overall sex ratio. Discuss the reason that explain this trend. What measures have been taken by the government? ये क्वेश्चन ही नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. चाइल्ड सेक्स रेशियो इज डिक्लाइनिंग, इसे बंद कर दो.